Hi, Dave. Having noticed
Colin?
that Brendan practiced yesterday in a regular jersey, I was wondering if you have any lineup changes at all today, or if there's any other changes you have.
Yeah, there'll be no lineup changes today. Brendan's still not cleared to go, but it should happen soon.
Hi, David.
Hey, Val.
It seems like Kreider has really stepped into a leadership role this season, more so than any other. He's become a go-to guy to speak after losses and such, but he's also showed the joy he brings. You know, when he was messing with the table during Strom's availability the other day. How important has he been to the team's morale so far this season?
Well, Chris has always been a leader in a lot of ways. I just think that this year in particular, because of the roster makeup and the opportunity for guys to step up to a different level in the leadership category, I think he's done that, and I think he's embraced it. I think he's been around here a long time, and obviously he's a part of our future. And I think he realizes the impact he can make not only on the ice but off the ice, and he certainly has embraced it.
Good morning, Coach. You've always been an advocate saying that, you look at chances. And if you take a look, we put Mika underneath the microscope. And if you look at his stats over 11 games last year, he's actually taken more shots this year. And, with the exception of the 3-goal game last year in his first 11, he's almost right there. Are we overblowing his start? And at the end of the day, will he be what the back of his hockey card says?
Yes, I do. I think he, without question, will get to where we're all accustomed to seeing him play. I do think it's overblown, but I think part of that is the fact that he raised the bar so high last year. The expectations are, where they are because of that. Over the last year and a half, he's become one of the top players in this league. He's a true number one centerman, and I think when people watch him, they always compare him to that. And he and I talked about that yesterday. I mean, that's just the reality of his situation. And, these are unique circumstances for everybody with the off-ice conditioning opportunities guys had throughout the last 6 or 7 months before we started. And then, obviously, he got COVID. And, but you can certainly see him starting to come out of it. There are things, every game, there's a little bit more of the Mika that we've seen in the past. And, to me, it's just a matter of time.
Could Brendan Smith be an option for you as soon as later this week? Do you think he's that close? And then once he's back and even further down the line, Jack, how do you plan on managing that bottom pair? And for a guy like Libor, is it important for him at this stage in his career to get some games to continue his development?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously play-driven, and, we want to win hockey games. So the two guys, the top 6 defensemen that we feel give us a chance to win night in and night out will play. And you're going to need depth every year, but more so this year than ever, just because of the situation we're in from the pandemic standpoint. So, we're going to need everybody, and they're going to be, hopefully, guys that are healthy that aren't playing, sitting in the stands, because we do have depth and we do feel good about all the defensemen we have on our roster. So, really, it's just going to be about who's playing the best and who gives us the best chance to win. That'll be the deciding factor in who plays.
Dave, but with younger players, you move them around the lineup a little bit. But with a guy like Mika, I mean, could you do that at all? I mean, could you drop him to the second line? Is that something, maybe try and get him away from number one D pairs and things like that, or is that something that you wouldn't do?
No, that's something we would do, and he and I talked about that yesterday. I mean, he certainly has given himself an opportunity to play through some stretches of that maybe he's not on the top of his game, but at some point in time that those opportunities and that credit's going to run out, and he and I talked about that yesterday.
Just to follow up on that, we've asked you plenty of times about Mika and Panarin playing together, but is that something that you think could help spark him? Is that something that, along in that conversation you had with him, that maybe you guys discussed?
Yeah, but, again, before the other night, we had got 7 out of 8 points, and things were going pretty well for us. So you don't want to overreact to one loss. And obviously, we all, as you guys like to, mention, because, from a point standpoint, isn't where he was when the season ended last year. So, that's certainly something we've done throughout the games, from time to time, and it's something that's always on the table and always an option for us.